Hello, welcome everyone. Let's go through a couple developments today. It's a pretty exciting day actually, based on the last video update we did. Remember, we talked briefly about the advanced decline analysis, looking for the market not to get to the absolute lows of February, but test the average of the lows, and that's exactly what we got down to. We also were looking for the Russell to outperform the broad market. Now, today we didn't get an outperformance in terms of percent change. If we take a look at the screen, you'll notice IWM here is, there we go, up 2.16%. You'll look at the Dow, the diamonds, up 2.82%. So percentage-wise, it was a good day, but it didn't outperform. Why do I mention this? Well, Friday we sent an email alert based on the VIX algo optimizing strategy that we've created with the person algo optimizing product. And as you can see, I shared this in a lot of the videos from last week where the system went long. When the VXX, which is an exchange traded note, when it goes up, it actually signifies either one of two things: a contango crush with the front two months of the CBOE's VIX futures, which come down in valuation in a sideways equity market, or of course if volatility starts to move lower, the VIX that is, then this product moves down. When volatility expands, this product goes up. This has been in a trading range all year, and this is a phenomenal product that we put together a trading settings for that people can optimize, maintain, and of course as different metrics change with market conditions. Number one being daily ranges, trending conditions, whether the market's in a consolidation zone, etc., etc. The system was long, which means SPY, SPY, when the system goes up, when VIX goes up, spiders usually go down. And what happened is on Friday, the system went flat. And when I sent in my tweet, and I sent out on Friday afternoon, is generally when this thing has gone and liquidated longs, it goes back down, sending the spiders back up. So what happened? It liquidated, and we sent an email out Friday afternoon. Let's look at that email real quick. So the email was sent out and then actually received prior to the 4 p.m. close. What it says is that equity markets were sharply lower, yet 60-minute volume analysis suggesting a bullish convergence setup. Well, that's powerful in itself. We'll go over that volume analysis in just a minute. So this was Friday, as you can see, 323. It suggests we're closer, plus the VIX position that just took another profit and is flat. And that's what happened right there, flat. So when it went flat, it signifies that perhaps when it's no longer, signaling that the market could roll over, meaning S&Ps, it gives an opportunity. We were lightly buying Russell May 150 strike calls, and based on our overall analysis with our seasonals. So therefore, we gave a complete instructions on what to do, how to do it, where to do it, when to do it, that kind of thing. So the moral of the story is we came into today, and lo and behold, the market had a big recovery, fears subsided slightly, and the biggest news of all was Facebook. But what I want to finish report based off the charts and looking for Facebook to get into a zone of support right where we were around this level, but point of breakout with the last conditional change, these white lines, the channel in here, and right about where the market broke out to the upside, the point of breakout. And that's exactly what it did. Now, it got into, as you can see, the relative strength indicator, the red line. The red line has not been that low like in recent history. It was too oversold. And so what we looked at was between that, as we explained, but more importantly, the daily pivots. It had already blown right through the person's daily pivots, but what we were looking at was a little bullish convergence pattern in my volume indicator, and it generated the buy signal. There's your PPS buy signal, and the market kind of whimpered around, but this is when we were advising clients in the trade room today to look for some upside call premium long weekly calls, not for this week expiration, but the following week. So therefore, good trade, nice setup, well thought through, and technically inspired opportunity there. So I think that is one of the trades that we wanted to go over. The next, I want to show what all this blinking lights are all about on the person's radar package. Many of you will be interested in this because it's actually signifying and it's telling us right now that at current prices, it will flash. If something's flashing, it's saying if today was Thursday or Friday in most cases, but Thursday's the end of the week. Thursday's the end of the month. Thursday's the end of the quarter. So what it's doing is alerting us that anything blinking is generating weekly buy signals. So let's take a look at how many are generating. What did today's action change? Foreign market ETFs, a lot of them all changed. Let's just take a look at, here's EWU. Most people are familiar with EEM, the emerging market ETF. And we're starting to show that we have an opportunity for the market to bounce right back up to the top end of this trading range. And that's all I think that this market is in, is a trading range. For emerging markets to really settle back down and get ugly, we close underneath 45.04. There's the white line in the sand. Close underneath there. It's going to open up the door to bigger problems. My guess, right back to 30. That would be the target. All right. Relative strength, instead of weakening, actually improved. You can see the relative strength bars, the histograms are getting blue. Volume did not turn yet, so it suggests it's still in a trading range. So what did change today? Where's the strength in the market lie? Well, first and foremost, we have a couple things that we can look at. The Aerospace and Defense, ITA, that's one, generated a nice daily buy signal in the form of a high closed doji on improved relative strength on a daily chart. The volume was okay, not great. What does it suggest? Trading range. We get break up to the top to possibly 204, a $5 move. And then we'll see where things go. New fresh daily buy signals are blinking today in a lot of different segments. The regional banks, KRE, that's one that's starting to show a last conditional change bullish breakout. So we want to kind of watch for regional banks. Let's take a look at, we have leveraged ETFs. And what I do is on the radar screen, I list all the subsectors of the market and the stocks within that subsector. And I want to see if there is a concentration of buy signals. That's better than a concentration of the market being up. If you actually generate an arrow, a buy signal, to me that's a much more powerful way of analyzing the market and saying there's conviction. Things had to happen. Multiple of things had to happen in order for that buy signal to be generated. So here, as you can see on your chart, I put KRE. That's a 60-minute chart. And let's take a look at the 60-minute chart real quick and see how did it look. Well, from a perspective earlier today, you can see it generated a buy signal after this third hour of trading. Here's your buy signal, high closed doji, and we had upside. Now, if this cascades on some decent volume, if that cascades and we eventually break into from a 60-minute buy signal, then a daily buy signal, that's more powerful. So right now it's suggesting a swing trade to the upside. Where's the biggest strength in the market lie right now? It's all in energy. I want you to take a look. This is weekly and this is daily. For most part, the columns in both the daily and weekly are all green. So the strength is in energy components. Not every single energy stock. You got to be careful. But we do have another situation. This is the person's market catcher, the relative strength indicator that we created. And if it's bright blue, it suggests that that particular stock is outperforming the market. So bright blue combined with daily buys and in a weekly buy mode is very positive for a what? A potential trend continuation. Let's take a look at, well, this is Royal Dutch Shell. So Royal Dutch Shell, here's the only thing that this is really suggesting to us is that we've had good volume. The relative strength was improving. It generated a buy signal the last couple days. While the market went down, it didn't do anything. And today, the relative strength kicked in and buyers stepped in. So that would not have been a stock you'd want to sell, right? So there are some names like National Oil Well Varco, which we have a position in. We have a bright blue, meaning the relative strength is strong, the daily is strong, and the weekly's in an uptrend. And the uptrend is defined by that, of course, you guessed it, PPS buy signal. So there's some of the things that we have to go through. If we look at, did today's big reversal in equities change the board much? A few financials are blinking blue, or green, excuse me. Broker dealers, a few, but we didn't change the dial except for, what is this, Lockheed Martin's generating a potential little buy, daily, weekly. And let's take a look at the daily chart real quick. So here's the weekly chart analysis. It's suggesting that if the market closes here on Thursday, it's going to negate or reverse this sell signal, and the market has a shot of going back up and testing those highs. The relative strength is still strong. So that's how we wanted to put that together for you guys. All right, let's look at some other things real quick. Haven't gone through the 5-minute Dows. Remember, this has settings that it doesn't take trades during the wee hours of the morning, but it starts to take trades after the European session starts. And it's designed to take setups, and you can see here it's taken some trades. Nothing really happened. A little long position, it got out. It was short, and it just does that. As you can see, this is kind of some pretty dynamic, choppy ranges. Went short, took a profit. Went short again, got out. Went long, got out. Went short, lost a little. Went long, didn't do much. Got chopped up just a tad right in here. And how do you know it got chopped up? Because the equity curve started to fall a little bit on an intraday basis. If you're not an active trader, then you probably don't want to use 5 minutes for your settings. But considering the fact we go from, as you can see, 23.9 to about 24.2, there's a lot of money to be left on the table in them there 5-minute bars, right? So the system's done okay in the fact that it has profit targets set. These profit targets are based on the average length of a move, and they're optimized, which is what the Person's Algo Optimizer settings is all about, helping us to define what's the best holding period, what's the best profit target for a specific period, such as a 5-minute chart. This went long, and it is still holding into the night session 2 long positions. We require or recommend, if you're holding a position overnight, you need full margin, but that's why we trade 2 contracts. I guess we could really beef the system up more in the sense of compounding the leverage by increasing lot size, but I think a good system will take care of its performance over time, and so we don't recommend anything less than full margin on a position. So this VIX, as I know I've been talking about, is a trading system in of itself. And I know that a lot of you guys see a performance graph and say, hey, that's great, but look down at the periodic returns. And the periodic returns with a starting capital of $100,000, and you can probably figure out why we've launched a fund on this. Because, number one, the signals and the way it trades, not just this year, not just its performance right now, but looking at its annual performance. And if we go back and we take a look, well, what is its annual performance? I mean, we've been in a bull market, but gang, this isn't a bull market environment. This is a corrective market environment with a lot of fear that the stock market's rolling to zero, right? So this is a complete different market condition and pricing structure than it was in 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. Now, this is not a daily chart. We're using 60-minute as a swing trade. And as you can see here, based on 100,000, these are the returns that the system has generated, and that's what people think a hedge fund should do, at least this, if not better, right? So if you take a look at what we've done, this is just amazing. So when you get the tweets and it says, oh, how's that system doing? It's 2 things that you can use this for. A, when it's long, don't be long spiders. When it gets out, don't be short spiders, or take the signals. When it gets short, it's funny, it's already up a little bit, but this, like I said, is a trading machine. And the person algo optimizer, if I may share with you, just so that you know, it's the same system, the same bat channel, same thing that we've done. It's got, and I'm going to zing through this, a lot of different functions that you can optimize so that you can maintain your own system. And that's what this lifetime package has been about. You get this, it's yours for lifetime. Can't be taken away from you unless you decide not to trade anymore. We had so many licenses to issue per everyone's individual trading account. So they're registered so that we know that, and my partners know that this is not something that's just going out to everyone and mass produced. We can't do that. There's 16 licenses left. 16. If you are interested in this, I would recommend that you contact our office. And I'm going to tell you another reason why. Because starting after the second week of April, we have to raise the price because there are no more licenses left. 16's it. So the price is going up to full price, and after that, as we only have a few left, then we'll be talking to people one-to-one. So if you've been watching the videos or you like this product and you want to know more about it and you're interested in it, I would certainly try to capture your opportunity to grab the person's algo optimizer. But anyway, thank you for that, and also I hope you found the video helpful, at least to look for what the market's doing in terms of its structure with the advanced decline analysis, and as well as what's going on with different segments of the market. Right now, you can clearly see we're running our scans live, and we have several scans we want to run. I want to just finish with today's little afternoon briefing with you guys real quick so that you can see where did the bulk of PPS buy signals come from? What segment of the market did we get buy signals from? Ironically, we had a few in some consumer. This is one that we all know about, Roku, right? Roku generated a little bit of a buy signal here, a daily buy signal. Roku's pretty interesting down at this area. Not just interesting, but I think if we get it's so new, it's hard to gauge. It's it doesn't have a lot of long-term history to develop any type of trading system off of. But Roku's daily analysis to me is the relative strengths improving. I would prefer to see a market break out back above the lines in the sand, what we call the last conditional change. I'd like to see it get, because the moving averages are falling, right? I'd like to see the weekly go into a buy mode before loading up on a Roku for a big position. You'll notice here we got a few consumer cyclicals or retail apparel, one being, of course, Under Armour and its Class A shares, Under Armour UAA. ConAgra, what this is signifying is you have a few retail apparel, you obviously have some consumer staples, Estee Lauder's in there, ConAgra's in there, Cal-Maine food groups, people not as freaked out that the trade war with China is going to demolish our agricultural exports. So you also notice there's some financials in here and a lot of healthcare. And these aren't just any healthcare. What are these? These are, of course, Cara Therapeutics, a biotech company, Spark Therapeutics, another one, and the relative strength, what's really neat about this is that I can clearly see that as the markets kind of try to dig into newer lows, the relative strength's improved on better volume, and this is it's not a stock that I would say that it's under $10, but it definitely has some potential for reversal back to the upside. So this is a name called Calathera Bioscience. So anyway, these are what's populated on the scans today, and you can clearly see Lowe's had a great day today. You've got a bunch of what we call service sector stocks, and that could be anywhere from fast food like Shake Shack, to Yum Brands, one of our holdings, YUM, stock that we bought based on and I'll share the exact reasons why we bought Yum Brands. It had a weekly high close doji, PPS buy signal, pulled back to the moving averages. The relative strength was improving. Look at the person's market catcher, and the stock was up nicely today, almost 3%. So that's Yum Brands, right? So there it is. And by the way, boom, it's right there on our list, being a high closed doji and a PPS buy signal while it's in a weekly buy mode. So a lot of positive things happened in today's market. What about sell signals? Well, the scan, I can't share that with you right now in real time because it's actually running. It hasn't finished. But I can probably share this with you. On a day like today, any stock that generated a fresh sell signal, I would want to stay away from. And so you have a few of these in the energy, few financials here, a few healthcares. Endosight is one, ECYT. It's a little overbought, and after a huge run up like that, I wouldn't say I'm going to look to be a buyer of it anyway. I would want to see some kind of consolidation first after that massive run up. But that's pretty much what we have going for us. I hope you enjoyed at least how we look at a top-down approach, what the person's market catcher is showing that relative strength combined with the volume trends helps us to pick out the right stock in the right sector, or at least give us a better edge in the market. And again, using the person's algo optimizer to help format and program automatic trade signals. Thank you all very much. Until the next video, have a great trading week and a great Easter holiday. Thank you.